This is going to be one of those reviews that's very hard to do because I'm not entirely sure what's considered a spoiler and what is not. Let's put it this way, if you only watched the first trailer for this movie, then there might be some spoilers contained throughout this review. But if you watch the second trailer, then I assure you, you have nothing to worry about. If you don't give a shit one way or another and you're just here to support the video, then I appreciate you. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
A weekend getaway turns bloody and violent when a subservient android that's built for human companionship goes haywire. Now, for those of you wondering, that is the official synopsis for this film that's on Google right now. Basically, the studio just said f*** it after the second trailer and removed all the mystery around this film. The truth is that when I saw the first trailer for this film, I was instantly intrigued. To me, it just looked like a twisted love story from the creators of Barbarian, which just so happens to be a twisted horror movie that came out a couple of years ago that I enjoyed. And it is that twisted love story, but with a twist. And that's the biggest problem with this movie, it's that twist was revealed in the second trailer. In fact, most of this movie was revealed in that second trailer, which kind of takes away the impact when you see the film in its entirety. If they would have just left well enough alone and just had the first trailer and that's it, I think the fact that Iris is a robot in this movie would have been a really cool reveal to happen in real time.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
Modern movies really have an issue resisting the urge to spoon-feed the audience everything, sometimes before they even get a chance to see it. I just wish that the studio had a little bit more faith in this movie to let things play out naturally and let things be revealed in a traditional cinematic experience. Because this is by no means a bad movie. It's a fun movie that could have been a lot more fun if not for some misguided marketing. That being said, there is a lot to like about this movie, and I said this during my review for Heretic, and I'll say it again here. The star of this film, Sophie Thatcher, is not only a standout, but I think she has a bright future in Hollywood based on everything I've seen from her so far. There is just something about her that is supremely likable. And that quality, those traits, are very beneficial to her in a role like this. She has this sort of cute, naive sexiness to her while also having a darker and stronger side that makes her perfect for the role of a heartbroken sex bot.
I like it a lot.
Jack Quaid is also in this movie as her owner/love interest/antagonist. And as much as I've found him to be somewhat obnoxious as an actor, since his turn as Richie in Scream, I do have to give him props when it is deserved, and he plays a self-absorbed douchebag very well. I'll just say this, it was already pretty easy for me to root against him, so in a weird sort of way, it actually makes him perfect for the role that he's playing in this film. As far as the general plot of this movie, of course we've seen the robot goes rogue and starts killing people shtick before.
I'm having trouble.
In a lot of ways, it's actually been done to death in movies. But given current events and the fact that companies are now actually making lifelike robots in real life, I actually think it was appropriate to revisit this subject now. Yet another cautionary tale about how humans creating something that could potentially be smarter than them is the worst idea ever.
And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
Now this movie does kind of flip that concept on its head just a bit. Where robots are typically portrayed as the villains in these situations, this time around, the selfish nature of human beings is put under fire. And that's the part I think I liked about this movie most. It's just the willingness to explore this concept from a different perspective. The other aspect of this movie that I found somewhat interesting were the parts that dealt in human emotion. and the role that things like love, jealousy, and manipulation plays in this situation going south. The truth is that Iris could have very well been a human character in this movie, and I think it would have been just as impactful. Because this is very much an extreme portrait of what a toxic relationship looks like with a sci-fi twist. If I had one gripe about one thing that has to do with that, I think it's that the movie breezes through the more emotional aspects far too quickly, not really giving those moments quite enough time to actually resonate with the audience. But you do get the general picture of what they are trying to say, so I guess that's really all that matters.
Because it's all part of the plan.
There's also a decent amount of humor in this film, mostly dark humor, that has a lot to do with the fact that Iris is in fact a sex bot, or as someone put it in the film, a bot. And if I'm being completely honest, some of the humor was fine, but a lot of it really didn't land with me. There were a couple of moments in the film where it felt like they were trying to force a laugh out of you when it wasn't really necessary for the scene. As far as the more horror elements of the film go, and with that I'm mostly talking about the violence and brutality, there were one or two moments that made me stop and say, holy shit, that was pretty cool. But for the most part, a lot of it felt very tame. And I don't know, maybe I was expecting too much based on that first trailer, but I was just expecting things to get a little bit more twisted than they actually ended up being.
How can you not care?
Like this.
So I'd be lying to you if I said the use of violence in this film wasn't a bit of a letdown. I also would have loved to know a bit more about the world itself that this story takes place in. Again, most of this movie takes place in a remote location outside of a handful of flashbacks. So I do think that a little glimpse into what the outside world looks like could have been interesting. Overall, I enjoyed Companion, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I think it offers some fresh ideas and a new perspective on the killer robot trope, and I did feel like the writing, directing, and performances were all really solid. I just wish they gave us a little bit more in some areas of the film, while also simultaneously holding back just a little bit more in its promotion. Companion was a flawed but entertaining experience, and that's why I'm going to give it the Cathouse.
Saved by kitty litter.
Y'all be cool. Right on.